66 quarterbacks this season started a game in the NFL and did this. That tied a record in the National Football League that was set a year ago. Now, David, to wrap things up, I couldn't help but notice you're wearing the ring from Super Bowl 42.
Yeah, the rings and things.
Show it off to the camera.
That's what they said. The rings and things they sing about, bring them out.
Is that something you wear all the time or only for special occasions?
Only for special occasions. I'm too nervous about losing it, man. I'm like, I clutch my fist with it on my.
You see that roof? That's the lid that covers this facility that is Allegiant Stadium. That roof is made up of translucent roof panels that shine down on the field here. And here in Las Vegas, you want to spend as much time outside as possible, so that lid makes you inside and outside at the same time. Picture this, April 30th, 2022, day 3 of the NFL Draft. Names at a podium just like this one are being called left and right. The dream of being selected to an NFL franchise slowly slipping away. That's how Brock Purdy felt. But then came round 7, pick number 262, the final selection of the NFL Draft. Yeah, Schrader had a really rough day, and he had a rough day against Clemson in North Carolina. But today's tough day in the office was a little bit different. Last night, after the team dinner, Garrett Schrader suffered from food poisoning, Dino Babers told us after this contest, and it ultimately hindered him. He was dehydrated, he wasn't in the right mindset. Dino Babers said, quote, "It was coming out from all sides," and he moved his arms out wide, he outstretched them, and said it wasn't looking good for Garrett Schrader. That's why Schrader was pulled out earlier in the fourth quarter. It wasn't a performance issue, it was because he suffered from food poisoning, and he was feeling the effects of it throughout today's contest.
And folks, this won't be the last time you see Quadir Copeland in top place.
Quadir Copeland's a human highlight reel.
Really is.
That guy just likes to have fun. But you know who else likes to have fun? That's Savannah Schweitzer. Little BTB action behind the back, inside the 8. Are you kidding me? 3-5. She had an around the world goal against Army earlier this year, but she is crafty when she gets inside the 8-meter arc. 2 defenders in front, no problem for Savannah Schweitzer. She buries it home. 2 goals in the loss to Stony Brook in overtime. Here's where the ACC stands in the women's college basketball season. The conference tournament is set. So this right here is a locked bracket. The final stretch of the regular season, though, had a ton of ramifications. So how did the conference shape up like this? Well, we'll start with the 4 seed in Notre Dame. The Irish lost to NC State on February 15th, but then knocked out 5 opponents in a row. Duke, the #1 scoring defense in the conference this year, Clemson, and then BC. Then in the last week of the season, Notre Dame tied with Florida State and Louisville at 11-5 for the 4th place spot in the conference, took down Virginia Tech and Louisville at home to secure that #4 spot and a 2-game bye in the tournament. In the first half of this matchup between Syracuse and Duke, it was a back-and-forth affair. A big reason why? Well, the Blue Devils on this end went 0 for 9 from beyond the arc. Duke still entered the halftime break with a 2-point lead. Both teams went to the locker room, talked some things out, but then in the second half, the Blue Devils came out and went 8 for 8 from 3-point land on this end, en route to an 86-66 victory over the Orange. Andrew, I know the wall behind us here says winter is coming. I think winter is here. SU women's ice hockey started the season, started 2-0. I know the weather's nice outside, but I'm ready for some hockey. I'm ready for some puck. Syracuse closed up the Dome last week with a big 10-point win over Pitt. But the 2 seed still in reach for the Orange. The only obstacle that stood in the way was NC State. The battle for a higher seed in that tournament happened in Raleigh late last week, so let's check out how it went down in Reynolds Coliseum. The last time Syracuse and NC State went head-to-head, you got to go back to the ACC tournament last year, the second round. The Wolfpack dominated the Orange, but early in this game, Deaja Fair started off hot. Fair with a 3-pointer to make it 5-5 early. Then, a few plays later, Fair, basically an identical 3, put Syracuse up 13-12. She had 6 3-pointers in this game, finished it with 26 points. On the other end, River Baldwin put this one home for 2. This game was back and forth. It's a common theme throughout this one, but Sanaya Rivers turns defense into offense. She finished this one with 22 points. NC State entered the halftime break up by 3. But in the second half, Isabel Verjao helped out on the offensive end. She went 1 for 5 from 3-point land. Here's the bucket. She was wide open, got it to go, helped out this Syracuse offense, the Orange, up by 2 early in the second half. But this feed from Sanaya Rivers to the corner to Zoe Brooks. What a 3-pointer. Again, like I said, back and forth these two teams went, showing why they are the two powerhouses of the conference. Sanaya Rivers on the offensive end with that three-pointer. She could do it from all three levels on the offensive side of the floor. She could also pass the rock well. Inside feed to River Baldwin, laid it in for two. NC State led 66-64, 26 seconds to go. How does Syracuse respond? Well, an air ball three from Verjao. Latham gets the rebound. She's fouled, but is there any time left when Latham gets fouled? Let's see. She grabs the ball. She's fouled with 1/10 of a second to go. So Alyssa Latham, with the game in her hands, can she send this contest to the extra period? Well, let's look at the free throw. It's good. Ooh. So the extra period, Syracuse and NC State go. Sophie Burrows makes it 69-68, just seconds into overtime. But that was it for Syracuse because NC State went on a late 5-0 run to pull the Wolfpack ahead. NC State was all over Syracuse in overtime. Madison Hayes iced the cake with just over a minute to go. NC State up 75-71 takes this one in Raleigh.